I was such a fraud.
Hello, beautiful people. I'm going to be wearing glasses for the rest of the video because I had a cut yesterday in my eye. As you can see, it's kind of gross. So as to not gross you out, I'm going to wear glasses. You know, this is so you know. Here we go.
Cambridge guns broke the grinder. That's what it was.
Hello, beautiful people. You'll see soon why I'm wearing glasses. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for the super thanks that you know is that little sign in the money you donate to the channel. Thank you very much for all of that. Thank you for following. Please do leave your comments. And I'm going to start it off by this. So $20 million for a 5-book installment is what Harry was paid. So it's $4 million per book, right? In this book, we've heard about circumcision, frozen peanuts, him mounting an animal, because you only mount animals. You don't mount a woman. Him mounting an animal where he lost his virginity, talking about lip gloss, talking about William being bald and criticizing him, which is bullying. Let me see that Meghan bullied Princess Catherine, calling her a brainchild because of a baby brain because of hormones, which is, and you know what? I'm going to say something for our American friends. You all know you're not rude. That was a rude thing to say. It goes to show Harry and Meghan were born very privileged, in different backgrounds, but very privileged, and they lived very privileged, wealthy lives. They went to the best schools where manners are taught. But it goes to show that you can't teach manners to mules. And it goes to show you that it was wasted money on Harry and on Meghan. And I'm gonna leave you with a thought here. The mockumentary on Netflix, the book and everything, were supposed to be released while our queen was alive. They were not counting on the queen dying. They thought the queen was going to live at least a couple more years, right? Given the longevity of everything else. Just think of that. Because in that mockumentary, when they removed that and they portrayed the queen's legacy as colonialism 2.0 in order to create dissent, and people not wanting to join the Commonwealth or separate the Commonwealth. All of this was done with the intent to do it and share it while the queen was alive. As sad as I am that at the queen's passing, I am glad that she was not alive to see this. It's unfortunate that King Charles is the one ruling right now. And I'm going to tell you why in the video. Because once and for all, again, I keep saying King Charles can tomorrow wake up and say that Harold will now be known not as a prince of the United Kingdom or a duke, that he will now be known as Henry Mountbatten Windsor, and he will no longer be a prince of the United Kingdom nor a duke. It is absolutely in the purview of the monarch to do that. He can do it through a letters patent, just like the Queen granted Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis the honorary titles of Prince and Princess and HRH, in spite of the letters patent limiting that. And Parliament has said so. So when people say that they can't because, he was born a prince, no. Many people during Queen Victoria's reign were born and they were entitled to have prince and princess, because that's absolute discretion of the monarch. There could be an amendment to the succession bill by King Charles requesting, and it can go as fast as 3 months, just like when the monarch, the queen, the late queen, requested from Parliament to amend the succession act or bill by saying that primogeniture should take precedence over gender and that Catholics should be included. It took a little bit over 3 months, and they got it done. And this is because the queen asked for it in December when they went on a break. It was passed before Princess Charlotte was born. And automatically the succession line was altered, because now primogeniture took precedence over gender. And Catholics were included, which meant that the children from the Princess Michael of Kent were added to the succession line, altering that line. So if King Charles were to ask Parliament to amend once again the succession bill, saying that only royals living in the United Kingdom or being born in the United Kingdom can be in the line of succession, that would immediately take care of Prince Harry. But King Charles instead has decided, instead of saying, you know what, can you please amend the bill for just a teaser of an example. King Charles, instead of saying, you know what, can we reduce the number of councillor of states or all amend who the councillor of state can be by saying that only people, only royals residing in the United Kingdom can be councillors of state. That would immediately have eliminated Prince Harry or working royals. That would have eliminated Prince Andrew. And that would have put Prince Edward, Sophie, well, Camilla, of course, Prince William, and the Duchess and Princess Catherine. Right there, you have your Council of States. He can very well do that, but instead of doing that, he said, no, I want to expand it further because he doesn't want to act against Harry. At what point will Harry hear the word no? At what point will enough be enough? What will it take? What will it take? Will it take for one of the royals to be assassinated because of Harry's claims? Because the danger here is not Harry's claims. The danger here is the fact that there is no consequences to all the terrible allegations that he's giving. I understand that silence is dignity. Some things are. The personal thing about the lip gloss, the personal thing about the baldness, whatever, or Harry mounting an animal, because we women are not animals. Okay? Those are personal attacks. But him saying he killed 25 Taliban and they were just like chess pieces, it goes to show that this man is a psychopath. That you don't feel anything? You really don't feel anything about killing 25 people. These were enemy combatants. You still feel something. And that he didn't know that the P word, calling somebody the P in the United Kingdom, was terrible because he felt sheltered and blah, blah, blah. At what point? At what point will he be held accountable? Forget Meghan. Because stripping him of all the titles, that's it. But no. So let's get into the video.
Yeah, he's a very angry, hurt young man.
At what point are we going to refer to Harry as a grown man and not as a young man? Oh, Harry's this angry young man. Or Meghan is this young woman, this young couple. Meghan is 41 years of age. She's going to be 42 years of age now. If Harry's a young man, does that make me a teenager? Because he's 38, he's going to be 39. So if Meghan is a young woman, what am I? A teenager? Because young, you think of a child. Not as that. 20 million pounds for a 5-book deal. What we got so far, and the book is released. It's a tightly kept secret, and then it's leaked in Spain, it's leaked to the Guardian, it's leaked everywhere. You know why? Because Harry and Meghan can't help themselves. They are the ones doing all the leaks, and they weren't selling. There were no pre-orders. You know how, for example, they say, it's already become a bestseller before even it's out, because people are pre-ordering it online. With Harry's book, that was not the case. So this is why they're leaking these bits here and there. It was leaked beforehand because maybe people will buy it. That's one thing for people to understand, that the reason why you haven't heard that book is a bestseller, and nor will you. And if they do, they're lying, because usually that is something that is announced beforehand, you know. So yeah, this is why I you know, like I'm fed up of people saying that, you know, this young couple, they're not a young couple at all.
This is what we were
Why would
talking
you-
about in the break.
I
Put it out there is what you're saying?
Yeah, to me, it's just, I don't know. I mean, everyone has a family. I have arguments in my family. Am I going to put that out there for the whole world to see? I just don't understand why on earth he would want to put that out there. I know he's selling a book, but to me, it's just, what is the word that I'm looking for? It's just not done. You know, I don't know.
That's the question that a lot of people in the United Kingdom and further afield
Gauche
are
is the
asking,
word. Sorry, Bianca.
especially-
It's gauche to me. That's the word. It's just not done. Sorry, go on.
Now, for Don Lemon to call out Harry like this, there is trouble in paradise. There truly is trouble in paradise. Because CNN Don Lemon is saying, you shut the hell up. I mean, it is pretty bad. There's so many things I would like to say. The pettiness, this book wasn't really about Harry, if you think about it. It was about denigrating Harry because it was hugely guided by Meghan Markle. The fact that Meghan Markle Harry is saying that Harry didn't want to share lip gloss. The Princess Catherine didn't want to share lip gloss with Meghan. How she grimaced when Meghan put it on her lips. That's a woman thing. Why would he be talking about sharing a lipstick? You know? Or that, I mean, why would you? Why would you call, a man doesn't call his collar or whatever a necklace. He calls it a chain. Oh, I'm wearing a necklace, Harry. Can you imagine Prince William saying, I'm wearing my necklace? No, of course not. But the petty, you know, or talking about the bridesmaid's dress, or that Prince Charles is, you know, is jealous of Meghan and blah, 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 blah. Why would anybody be jealous of a D-lister? The royal family was mostly concerned of all the lies she was telling, and they knew it was just a matter of time before everything blew up in their faces, and that she was a bully, and that the bullying allegations and the bullying accusations were just too many. They were just too many. The way she treated her family, I mean, there were so many red flags. There were so many red flags. It's not even funny anymore.
If there was a fight between you and Harry, who would win?
Oh, that's clearly obvious. Me.
Why?
Because I'm bigger.
This is a little side note of how things are that bad and how far the royal family went to cover up for Harry and Meghan Markle. As you all know, I watch Bookworm. Please, I'll leave the video that she did on the children just yesterday, I think, where she talks that her and we tried to get the copy of the birth certificate for the kid. Now, one thing that she left out, because I don't know if I didn't tell her, but I think it was Pat that I told, that whenever a document is sealed and you ask for it, you get an explanation in the mail saying, or, you know, electronically saying, we are unable to provide such said document because it is sealed by judge's order, blah, blah, blah. You do get an explanation like that. What I got in return was that there is no data, there's no child born in the state of California on that day with those details. Please review your details. Please review the data that you send us, because the money is non-refundable. This is why they say to you, you cannot ask for a refund if you can't find the data. I asked 5 times for it in different stages. Excuse me. And they said no. And then I called and I said, is it because it's sealed or something? And they said to me, no, usually you would, if it is a sealed document, we would inform you that the document has been sealed by a judge's order. But that's not the case. There's just no child with those details born on that, in the state of California. And when people say that you have to look elsewhere, why would I look elsewhere? If you're telling me, if, for example, I tell you I was born in such a day in this city, in this country, then in this city on this day, and with this name, that's what you should be able to find, because that's what's reported out publicly. It's even in the line of succession. And the same thing with Archie. So, Bookworm is absolutely right, yet the palace has allowed those two children to be in the line of succession, regardless that there is no proof, that there's too many questions. Parliament has allowed it. Because I've always told you that it's Parliament that is the rod that keeps the royal family, in check. And it is amazing. There was this gentleman commentator, like a very older gentleman commentator, and I heard Angela Levin, God bless her soul, I love her so much, saying that King Charles can absolutely take away the Duke and Duchess, the Duke title, but not the Prince title, because he was born with it. This is something that is incredible, that these people are trying to put out that false narrative just to ensure that Harry keeps a title, any title. In 1917, King George VI, or what was it? King George VI or the 5th? I can't remember which King George was. I think it was the 5th. In 1917, I think it was. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I am a little bit fuzzy with my thing today. Issued a letters patent limiting the people that were entitled to have a prince and princess title and HRH title, because Queen Victoria, pretty much everybody was prince and princess, right? And he said no. I believe that had largely to do with the fact that there wasn't a monetary arrangement with the royal, with the government to what they provided for the royal family. Once that became in place, it did influence the fact that, the government cannot support so many people. And also because the king wanted to, to say, enough is enough. Everybody's a prince, everybody's HRH. So when he wrote that letters patent, when he issued that letters patent, which is a document, is the only complete, absolute mechanism available to the monarch, only. It's an absolute discretion of the monarch. If the monarch wants to, and he doesn't even have to write a letters patent. He can say it. He can verbally say it. He wrote a letters patent saying that only the male sons of the monarch and the grandchildren of the male children of the monarch would be entitled to have a prince title and be called and have the HRH as well attached. Immediately, all the people who were prince and princesses at the time, this is 1917, they woke up not being a prince or princess anymore, because the monarch reduced with that letters patent. They said you can't be, because you're not part of this line of, you're not the son of the monarch, so you can't be an HRH and you can't be a prince. All those people disappeared being prince and princesses and HRH. The king can absolutely say tomorrow, King Charles III can get up tomorrow on national television and say, given that my son is unhappy about, or that the prince title or being part of the royal family or having titles from the royal family have caused them a lot of grief, he will no longer be a prince of the United Kingdom nor a duke. He will be hence known as Henry Wales or Henry Mountbatten Windsor. He's no longer Wales. He's not even entitled to be called Wales. And the fact that we have people saying that it takes an act of parliament, when please, and I urge you and I beg you, Go to the petitions, because as you all know, many people wrote petitions asking Parliament to remove the Prince and Duke titles from Harold. And Parliament, it's in writing from Parliament saying that all honorary titles, all royal titles, they could not strip or do anything about it, that it is up to the monarch to do so. The only thing that will take an act of Parliament is to alter the line of succession. And that is not even a big deal. In 2000, and please correct me if I'm wrong because I'm a little bit fuzzy here, but in 2012, the Queen, because this is when I think Princess Catherine was with her second pregnancy. It was during that time. The Queen requested Parliament to amend the Succession Act by saying that it would no longer be about, that gender would no longer be, shouldn't be about gender, it should be about primogeniture, and that Catholics could be included in the line of succession. That was, the Queen sent for that in December, and I believe that by March, it was already approved, right before Princess Charlotte was born. So when Parliament wants to get something done, or the monarch requested, it gets done pretty quickly. Okay? It gets done pretty quickly. It gets read like that because it's a request from the monarch. And sure enough, and that immediately altered the line of succession. Now, Charlotte that takes precedence, comes first before Prince Louis. If that hadn't been amended, then it would be the other way around, because gender would take precedence over primogeniture. And immediately, Princess Michael's Kent children, who are Catholics, were included in the line of succession. So by amending that act, the line of succession was amended. King Charles can easily request Parliament to say, you know what? Only royals born in the United Kingdom and residing in the United Kingdom can be in the line of succession. That would be an incentive for royals to be in the United Kingdom and be born there. That would immediately alter the line of succession and would remove Prince Harry from the line of succession. And with King Charles saying, you know, they would have to even issue anything about Harry. It would just be an amendment to the succession thing, saying if you're not residing in the United Kingdom and your children were not born in the United Kingdom, you cannot be part of the line of succession. Just like if the children are not born from the body of the woman, you cannot be in the line of succession. To this day, there's absolutely no proof about it. And it's amazing that Harry talks in this book about circumcision, how his penis froze, how he mounted a woman. So he thinks of women as animals? Because that's the only way, you know, you mount an animal. You don't mount a woman. So I don't even think those are his words. I really do believe that the ghostwriter is Meghan Markle. Because it is so pathetic. It is so pathetic. He grimaced. Catherine grimaced when Meghan took the lip gloss and put it on her finger and put it on. That is Meghan Markle. That is not that same guy who wrote Agassi. That cannot be that man. That same ghostwriter. That has to be Meghan. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah. It's none of our business. Yeah. That's the private thing. And your family shouldn't, if you have a row, shouldn't have to think, oh, I better be careful in this row in case he leaks it to the press. It should be a private row, so to speak. And it's just messed it up. So.
Just finally, before I let you go, if you could say something to him now, what would your message be?
I suppose mentally sober up kind of thing. Get some good people around you. Like, I'm not sure if his entourage are all Americans or what, but get on the phone to some of your Brit mates, if you know what I mean. You say, mate, like, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Just bring him back down to earth a little bit, because at the minute he's in this American dream world and he's just doing his thing and it seems cool, but in reality, it's kind of not that cool.
I understand where this young man is coming from. And again, these are people who are looking for excuses for Harry. He's saying that it's his entourage that has put his poisonous ideas in his head. And that it's all about money for Harry. True. Largely, money is a huge, huge thing. But for Harry, it's not about money. It's about that for once, he's in the limelight himself. The click of the cameras are not killing him. For Harry and Meghan, yes. For Meghan, it's both the money, but Meghan and Harry, they just feed off the limelight. For Harry, it's I am here and I'm going to trash everybody. You know what's really terrible? That Harry's saying about the Nazi uniform, because as you all know, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, she took pictures and worked really closely with Holocaust survivors. Remember those beautiful pictures she took? And she's very good friends with these people and she invited them. So he's trying to ruin Catherine's work with Holocaust survivors and her relationship with them. And, you know, at what point are people going to make Harry accountable? This young man who's a friend of his, oh, is his entourage? Oh, is this, is that? No, please. And I beg you, go back to all my previous, very early episodes. You will see that I say that Harry's a nasty piece of work. Not only has he increased the risk level for his family once again by claiming that he killed 25 Taliban. And I mean, how? Because he was not a ground soldier. It's not like he's counting and going around. He was in an Apache helicopter being flown by a pilot, because he's not a pilot. He is a gunner. He's not I don't know why people keep saying that he's an Apache helicopter pilot. He's not. He is a gunner. He's the one who holds the gun. So he's bragging about killing people. These are the morals that we have from this guy. I understand that Paula shouldn't say anything. I mean, I love Prince William. I really do. And now we have some people, oh, Prince William should be investigated for assault. How about Harry when he assaulted the newspaper people? Remember when he would assault paparazzi? I mean, I looked at William's baldness and it was alarming. He no longer looks like my mummy. A man doesn't talk about another man like that. The jealousy, the pettiness, we're circumcised. Is that what Penguin's house got for 20 mil? If this what the first installment of 5 books is going to look like, which is badly selling, they haven't been able to sell it. It's cut half price, it's been leaked, and people are still not buying it. People are still not buying it. My mom, for the past 3 years, I've sensed the presence of my mom more than ever. Of course, because Meghan keeps wearing her perfume. She keeps wearing her jewelry. She keeps talking about her all the time. How can you not? When your wife is wearing her perfume constantly, you know, it's something. I mean, and people making excuses, and that people also miss the fact that Tom Bradby said to Harry, if you are invited to the coronation, will you come? We have all these royal sources saying, it absolutely has been confirmed that Harry's going to be invited to the coronation. But people are missing that Tom Bradby said, if you are invited to the coronation, will you come? Meaning that Tom Bradby has been told by Harry, because the only way he would know that they're not invited is because Harry and Meghan told him. So, I mean, I really don't understand why royal experts are still going on that Harry cannot be stripped of Prince title, Duke title, and there can be an amendment in the line of succession, which can go as fast as it went in 2012. Within 3 months, the Succession Act was amended. So when Charlotte was born, she was, and then the Queen. This is another proof. The Queen issued a letters patent saying, because let's not forget, if we go by the letters patent of King George, Charlotte and Prince Louis were not entitled to be prince or princess. nor HRH. But the Queen just said, you know what? The heck with it. Prince William's children, all of them, are going to have the title of Prince and Princess and be addressed as HRH. No consent from Parliament. It was the letters patent issued by the monarch. That was it. So all that goes to shit when people say stuff like that. It really bothers me because it confuses you, beautiful people, the public. If we go by the letters patent, and this is why Meghan was so angry, because she wanted the Queen to issue a letters patent for her non-existent children while not providing any evidence. And probably the Queen didn't do it because Meghan didn't give birth to those children. So, is this, you know what, to me, and I am by no means clearly a royal expert of anything, but I think it's about time now that the royal family or the Parliament takes over and basically conducts the monarchy, because please, let's not forget that this is a constitutional monarchy. This is not an absolute monarchy. And the powers of the monarch are incredibly limited, and Parliament can alter that at will. Okay? So it's time for Parliament to do their job and say to King Charles, enough is enough. Harry cannot be a prince of of the United Kingdom. He cannot hold any royal titles while he's trashing. Because let's not forget that Harry is saying, oh, do you believe in the monarchy? Yes. He says, how can he believe in an institution that, according to his mockumentary on Netflix, is a racist colonialism 2.0, according to his experts that he brought in? How, and it's amazing that he can't even be consistent in the things that he goes saying. Because to Anderson Cooper, he told that he will never come back to work for the monarchy. And then to Tom Bradby, which is the UK market, he says, I don't know, a lot can happen. Why can't he be consistent? Why won't he give up the royal titles willingly before he's stripped of them? And why is King Charles dragging his feet? Now, as everybody has been pointing out, if he is invited, and if he comes, he will have to kneel down and pledge allegiance. At this point in time, he has betrayed everybody. He pledged allegiance to the Queen. And look what he's doing. And we have to say something here. We have to say something here. Okay? I am very sad the Queen passed away, but I'm glad she's not here anymore. Because let's not forget that they were not counting on the Queen dying. They thought the Queen was going to live at least a couple of years. So these attacks, these things were aimed to be put out there while the Queen was alive, to cause maximum harm to her and her legacy. Just think about that, okay?